Welcome to the Healing Grove podcast. I'm Dr. Kristin, an integrative holistic family physician, author of Life After Lyme, and host in this virtual space of learning, healing, and growing. I believe humans are like trees, and our physical limb is only one of many. Health on all limbs of the tree, emotional, conceptual, social, spiritual, is absolutely required for the whole tree that is you to be vibrantly well. I created the Healing Grove podcast as a place to showcase some of the world's best integrative and holistic medicine, to expose you to transformative tools and mindset shifts for all limbs of your tree. I hope you enjoy our conversation in the Healing Grove today as much as I enjoyed having it. Welcome, Maria. It's so good to see you again. Thank you for coming back to the Healing Grove to have another, what I'm sure to be amazing conversation.
Wow, thank you. So good to be back. I really enjoy our talks.
Me too. Me too. So before we get started, there are folks probably who didn't hear your first conversation. I want to make sure we introduce you properly. So everyone, this is my friend Maria Heart Song. I met her 4 years ago, I think, at a beautiful conference for visionary heart-centered entrepreneurs, and she struck me as the person I needed to know. She just had such a big, beautiful heart that was like beaming from across the room. And after a conversation with her, I knew I needed to share her with a wider audience. So I'm honored to be able to do that for a second time. So Maria is a like I said, a heart-centered entrepreneur. She's based in Sweden, but she works worldwide as a purpose and clarity coach. Right? You do belief coding and you do intuitive healing, and you're a heart song alchemist, which we can probably talk about because
What is that?
what is that? It sounds really juicy, but we'll get into it in a second. With her Heart Song activations and her coaching, she empowers women, coaches, healers, and creatives, and a few men too, I've heard, to reclaim their divine feminine power and to reconnect with their soulful creative abilities by using intention, music, movement, playfulness, and most importantly, their own voices to achieve their purpose. So having benefited from one of your heart songs, or I guess I should say my heart song that was channeled through you a few years back, I was building my team and trying to figure out how to create this huge, beautiful online community that the Healing Grove has now become. I was really struggling because I was in a place where I, had way too much to do by myself, and I was used to doing it all by myself. And so your channeled song, my heart song, really helped me to kind of connect with the importance of calling in my team. So thank you again for that. That was super powerful. It continues to live on in all the things I've been able to do since then. So thank you.
Thank you. It was so much fun because that particular song, it was really eager to come into form. I remember that I called you. We need to schedule a call earlier than anticipated because your song is on the way.
So cool. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since you channeled my heart song a few years ago. What's going on and what's new, and what do we all need to know about the importance of our own heart's song and our voice?
Well, we live in a challenging time, a paradigm shift where we really are faced with leaving the old that is not working anymore, both in the bigger sense, but also in ourselves, conditioning, roles we might have played, and different what is it called, subconscious beliefs that have been operating, and now we are really called to upgrade. That is my personal experience, and the women, mostly women I work with, also have that experience, that it's really time to come into ourselves, our authentic selves, more and more courageously. And there the voice is a huge key, because this thing here, it's an energetic center that has to do with expression and also authenticity and truth. So And it's also the way that we communicate, both with ourselves and others. And the stories that we have been telling ourselves about ourselves is often not the full truth. And with our voice, we can start to explore and tell ourselves another story. And when we use our singing voice, we also get a lot of benefits, emotionally and physically. And we can go into that deeper in a
Yeah,
bit if you
I
want.
would love to go into that deeper, but first I want to hear about what it feels like. And this would be based on maybe your own experience, but also your work with so many clients who are kind of finding themselves being called forth in this time. What does it feel like to resist that call? Do you have stories about that you
Yeah,
can share?
absolutely.
Might resonate.
Absolutely. And I think many people right now are called to step up into more leadership. I call it shine your light. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to broadcast yourself over Facebook like we are doing now, but to really step up in more leadership and being visible as ourselves wherever that might be, in the neighborhood and at the workplace, in our families. And I know that both me and my clients, we have had this calling for a long time. We have known that there's something we have to contribute with in this time. For some, it might be very specific. In my case, it has been very specific. I've known ever since this gift with receiving high vibrational songs and activating songs opened up more than 20 years ago. I've known that this is something that I need to bring in a bigger way eventually. Others might not know exactly what it is, but they just know I have a piece to this puzzle. I have a part of the solution to where we need to go now in our human evolution, to balance this somewhat sometimes chaotic world that we have created. And that calling can be super strong, but there is also often wounding, and that can be even wounding that we have inherited from our ancestry, of one of my mentors call it medicine woman wounds, of course, also medicine men wounds, and leadership wounds, that we have cellular memories. It can be also from this life, of course, but also from the ancestry, when it was dangerous to be in our truth, to speak up and use our voice and be shining our light, because the tribal consciousness was so ingrained and you shouldn't stick your neck out. So many of us, highly sensitive, heart-centered empaths, we have been keeping ourselves small. We have been dimming our light because it simply hasn't felt safe. And now I think that pressure cooker, at least it was like that for me last year. It was like, enough now. I need to say yes to myself. I need to embrace and accept my full self, and also really receive this gift and bring it. So yeah.
Are there, I can imagine some voices chattering, maybe not out loud, but sort of internal voices that are saying, don't listen to this. It's still unsafe. It's still unsafe.
Yes.
Do you find that there are real risks for people nowadays in sharing their voice, or do you feel like that time has passed?
That's a really good question. I think that definitely there will be initiations. I mean, when we shift and transform, There might be people in our lives that are not willing to accept that that has happened, and that will try to hold us back in some way because they are triggered. And maybe that they are also faced with their own wounds and want to keep us safe. So it doesn't have to be like they are deliberately trying to meanly stop us from expressing ourselves and expanding. But this is so deeply ingrained in the human psyche. But I think that for those of us who really feel, like I woke up one morning in 2020, and it was a deeply challenging and difficult year for all of us in different ways. And one morning I woke up happy, like bubbling joy, and I couldn't make sense of it because that was not the state I was in the mornings normally. And then when I explored that happiness, and that joy, I realized the awareness came that, okay, this is the time that I have prepared for all those years. And I believe that there could be many others that can relate to this. We have taken the courses, we have worked on ourselves, we have done all the things, and we might have lived an unusual life to some because we have chosen the path less traveled. And it, in our society's old way to rate success, we might not have felt successful. Or we have built a successful career, but we have felt hollow because there's something different calling us. But I believe that many that really, it's go time to bring their gifts. They will be able to do that safely because it's meant to happen. And I'm telling that to myself now also because it's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I stand here, when you interviewed me last time, I was like, yeah, I was in hiding, gray mouse kind of hiding. And here I stand in this, glitter thing. And it's also something that supports me to own that, okay, I'm choosing now to step out of the hiding. And I cannot control what people think, but I can control what I think and know about myself. And that's where the power lies for all of us who know it's go time.
I wonder if it's too personal a question to ask you what it is you think and know about yourself now.
I know that I am no more or no less than anyone else. I used to spend my time in comparisonitis a lot in my life, and feeling a little better than some and a lot worse than some. And I know that that is part of, the illusion. And I know that I chose to come here with certain qualities that enables me to receive these pure songs. And I cannot keep them from myself, for myself anymore. I cannot keep them from myself either. I have been afraid to share because I've been afraid of others' opinions, of others' judgments. And I cannot say that I'm completely out of that. I judge myself still at times. But I know that, and it was actually the quote of Wayne Dyer that woke me up for the second time last year. His quote about don't die with your music still left inside of you. It was like this. I have hundreds of songs, and I've shared them in safe, for me, safe places, in smaller groups and sometimes in bigger groups also, but I haven't had them produced in this way that I am now. So I just got the final version of the song Lighthouse. That will be the first song that I will release. And when I say release, I will liberate that song to have its own life and not trying to control things anymore, because I can't. And that is like that. The calling is stronger now than the fear. And the fear will still be there. I know that with each expansion I do, there's fear, and there's like stepping out of the comfort zone. And I just surrendered to the fact that, okay, that is what evolution looks like. We need to dare to bust through that fear over and over again. The difference now is that I've learned to take care of myself through that and love myself through that, and also ask for support. Like today, I asked for support, and I was held beautifully by a brilliant healer, one of my clients, Brenda Jensen. I mention her here because she is amazing. So yeah, that was a long answer on your question.
But a really powerful one, and it made me think of my my follow-up question, which is you talked about how the call became stronger than the fear, and how the fear comes from a place of it's not safe to share what's coming through me. In your case, hundreds of songs. I wonder if you could speak about whether there's a danger of not sharing.
Yes, absolutely. Because I've lived that. When we don't allow, and this is just to clarify, this is life force flowing through, and it flows through all of us. Creative life force, and it takes different form depending on where our gifts are. And we all have them. And even those of you who think that you are not gifted or creative, you have them. And they might be so obvious to you, so you don't even recognize them as gifts. But when we say no to this natural flow of life through us and try to block that, it ends up like pain. It can end up like depression. That has been my story. Anxiety. Dis-ease. Because the energy is supposed to flow through us.
Yeah. I mean, that I see that so often in my work. It's just so true. And I appreciate you saying it here. Sometimes people have to hear it from multiple directions.
Yes, we do.
I talk often about what, for me, it was Lyme disease, and it felt like a massive 2x4 to the head and body and brain and spirit, from the universe. And I really believe in retrospect that it was a message to get on my path and start showing up in the world in the way I have learned to, but was afraid to, right? For so long. It was such a departure to stop seeing patients in a clinic, in a hospital setting with all the usual trappings, even though they didn't feel like my trappings. And I was kind of hiding there, practicing as an alternative doctor in a usual building, but it just wasn't feeling very good. And eventually I ignored the not feeling so good until I got the bigger message, which was, you're going to lie in your bed for 5 weeks and you're going to think about this. And I literally couldn't move without pain until I accepted the challenge of maybe I need to do something differently. Yeah.
That's such a powerful story also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it gets to the importance of, listening to the early messages,
Yes.
when it's trying to come through you as a song, that's maybe a nice sensation and a really good time to listen and start doing something about it. So you are doing something about it now, which is so
Yeah.
exciting. So
Yes.
tell us about how we can connect to this new song when it comes out. Like, where's it going to be? What's happening?
Yes, I will in a minute. First, I just would like to speak about the voice a tiny bit. Can I?
Yeah.
Because your voice is the most healing, creative voice for you, even if you've been told that you can't sing. Just away with that, because when you use your voice singing, and this is what I'm really passionate about with the music that I bring through, that I get people to use it themselves, not only listening to my voice, because your own voice is more powerful for you as a healer and as a creative force in your life. A lot of different things happen in the body when we use our voice. We regulate the nervous system, we affect the vagus nerve, the biggest nerve. We regulate our breath, and the brain lights up. Like, I don't know the term of it, but we really get connected, and the good hormone starts to produce. So if you are suffering with depression or anxiety or stress or frustration, you can shift that in just minutes by singing.
And
And
any song or your heart song or what
and
like
any song, because uh, the heart songs are, well, they are very intentional, but when you use your voice singing, all of these things happen. Then when you put intention to that, it becomes even more powerful, and that's what I love to do. But it will make you relax. It will make your vibration higher, so that you go from, if you're stressed, go from amygdala, and you can access your frontal lobe and you can find solutions. So just wanted to say that first. And then the song Lighthouse, that came through in 2020. I've been using it a cappella ever since. But this year, or even last year, I started to work on it. But this year, I have been working with an amazing producer and musician who really got the song, and he expressed it so beautifully. He said, when he was starting to create arrangement to it, he said, "I'm listening to the song, what the song wants."
Mm.
And this song wants to be shared, and it wants to reach all of those people who need it in this time. And we will share it for the first time on the winter solstice. Um, when it is here, over here in Europe, it has already become the 22nd of December. So the evening over here, the 22nd of December, in Eastern time, that will be 2 p.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific, and you can figure out the middle time
Yeah,
zones.
everybody else. Yeah.
And so I have created an event that is called Activate Your Light. So there will be support to really use this powerful portal day that the solstice is. So if you know that you have dimmed your light to fit in, that you have kept yourself small, and that you have this calling, and knowing that it's time to step out of that hiding and embrace your authentic true self. This is a beautiful opportunity. We will do a light activation. We will create this powerful vortex of light together, and you will receive tools to become more confident, and also to connect with your higher self, and to have that connection make it easier for you to create in your life.
Wow. I mean, thinking about what you said earlier about how you were hiding for so long, you're not really hiding anymore, girl.
No, 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 but yes. I have moments though. Earlier today, I wanted to hide. But what the difference now is that I understand also that by me choosing to do this event and choosing to release this song, I go through this process, this emotional purge and transformation where I really become a lighthouse myself. And a lighthouse is not a perfect person. It is a person that can embrace all of who they are. That is the good, the bad, the ugly, and really embrace and accept themselves and be present with all of it. And that has been my journey especially these last 3 years or something. And so that is the space I am determined to hold for all of you that will come. So we will create this very strong space that is safe, that is unconditionally loving all that you are. And in such a space, it's very transformational, and we will also co-create it together. So I'm so looking forward to this, and to also have Lighthouse be heard for the first time by this group of people who know that they are to be there. And yeah.
I mean, pretty much if you're called to be there, you're meant to be there. And so
Yes.
like
Yes.
they're kind of the perfect scenario for everybody, including the song that gets to reach its audience finally.
Yeah. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, this has been illuminating. Is there is there anything else that we should say to people out there who've been listening and are resonating with this message of there might be something that's knocking on their door to show up as, which is, I guess, to say their authentic selves, right?
Mm.
What else might they need to hear that we haven't said yet?
So I want to speak to those who might be where I used to be. I used to single myself out and be the exception. So when I say everyone has gifts, precious gifts, and they are equally valued, we give them in different times, and if you don't give your gift, it will be missed. Then there will be people thinking that, well, that cannot be me. And when I say that you are light, that is your essence, there might be people who think that is not me because they are in the dark right now. So I want to paint the picture that let's see what that author is called. It will come. Or we will maybe share it in the
Is it anyone
description
here?
of this.
Anyone back here?
No, I have her name on a book in the other room, but anyway, she's written a book, or she's written several books, and in one of those books, which is called, if I direct translate it, it's called An Angel in the Room, but I have no idea if it's called that in English. She is showing, this disco lamp with a lot of facets, mirrors. So she is explaining that we are one, and that is also something that is in the lyrics of Lighthouse. We are one. So we are this ball with a lot of mirrors, and some of them have polished, so they are very bright. And in the room, they will give a reflection that is bright. And we, in our separation of the whole, we look out in the room to see our reflection. And then we compare ourselves with the other reflections. So that can make us feel separate and think that we don't belong. When in fact we are belonging, and other lights out in the room can help us to shine our light. So instead of separating from it, we can remember that that is the truth of who we are. And even if we're in a dark place, that is the truth of who we are. And when the songs came to me, or the message of that I have songs in me came to me, I was in a very dark place. But that message shifted everything for me. And you also have something that you are here to bring, even if it's dark right now. So trust your essence, your innate light. It is there.
That's a powerful message. Thank you for walking us through that.
Thank you.
Well, I can't wait to come to the Lighthouse event. Thank you for making it during a time that I'm awake.
Yes.
9 a.m. Sweden time might not have worked for me.
No. But if anyone there, it will be a replay also for those who might not be able to make it. And the activation will be as powerful on the replay.
And is there a link or a way to find that for people who want to sign up for that? Will you send us?
And we will share that.
Okay. So we'll put that in the show notes, and we'll put it on Facebook and everywhere else this lands. Thank you, Maria. This was beautiful.
One more thing. After this event, you can find this song Lighthouse on all streaming platforms. So you will be able to find it if you missed the event.
Under Maria Heart Song?
Yes, on Spotify. Yeah. Or and iTunes and all the places.
All the places. Beautiful. Well, I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful to you.
Thank you.
You're such a bright light, and I'm so happy that you're shining it.
Thank you. I'm so happy that we got connected because you gave me so much confidence. I was just starting out sharing those activations, personal activations with people, and you really made a difference for me there early on. So
I'm happy to know that. I'm happy to know that. It was a two-way street, and I got the activation, and you got pulled out of the shadows a little bit.
Yeah. So we need each other. We cannot do this alone.
We need each other for sure. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you at the activation.
Welcome. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healing Grove podcast. If you liked it, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to deepen your experience further, consider grabbing a copy of the Healing Grove Playbook. With journal prompts for this podcast and 41 others, it's the perfect place to record your learnings, keep track of the tools you explore, and reflect on your own experience. Finally, it's important to mention that even though I am a doctor, nothing you hear on this podcast, whether from myself or my guests, constitutes medical advice. Any intervention you try should always be discussed with and supervised by a trusted member of your own healing team. Thanks for listening, and see you next time in the Healing Grove.